Hey Jamie, for this video, I need you to please just not really be here.
Okay.
Meaning, like, just step off screen for a second.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's the reality. Okay. It's Monday at 11 a.m. Okay. I am literally willing to cooperate and do anything as long as my kids are safe and happy. I don't know how federal judges are able to continue to allow this insanity to go on without intervening in the process. The manipulation, the games, the lawyering, the endless accusations that are completely baseless. It needs to stop. I can't stress that I had to file federal litigation essentially against my own family just so I can have some semblance of a recognition that I am the father of Drake and Pierce, and I have busted my ass and I worked really hard, and the boys went to camp and everything was great in our relationship, and I loved them and they loved me, and that was already after multiple, I'm not going to use the K word, okay, but multiple kidnappings. Wait, I said I'm not going to use it, but look, there is different degrees and levels, and what is being done to me and my boys is so wrong on literally the highest level, on a psychological scale of torture and manipulation. So I am pleading with anyone that is watching this to put some semblance of reasoning and rationale into Mal and get her to just cut the BS and communicate. No one is looking to hurt her. She has submitted several declarations. And boys, I just want you to know that I am literally on YouTube saying, you know what? No matter what it is, I will always put the boys first. There's a series of videos that I will film for tonight's episode regarding the PSC&G and court orders and things like that. But on an emergent basis, I will even give up the fact that I haven't seen my kids in over 5 months. It's almost 6. I just want them to be happy, and I don't care if they text or don't text. I know half the texts are not even them, and I know that I don't want to have a relationship with a text message machine, and there's a lot more that I want to say regarding what we are as humans and what we'll evolve into once there's enough data on you as a human being. And essentially, please, someone needs to put some rationale into the human beings that are making decisions on my kids' behalf to communicate amicably with the same person that has been in their lives for 25 years. 25 years. 22 and a half, completely fine. I mean, ups and downs, honestly. My father-in-law and I didn't get along on certain matters, but we really had a good relationship for the majority of the time, which really goes to my point that as crazy as people think I am the same human being that they met 26 years ago at this point. And I'm going to leave it at 25 because it's just phenomenal how interchangeable people's opinion of me is solely based on what they want. So for example, if you want something like my attention, you will create this ruse that I am this and that I have to deal with it. So you have my attention. So here you go. What I need to do today is I need to be able to get this message out to any judge that is dealing with the cases and have them understand that no matter what I say or do, it doesn't change the fact that the opposition will continue to fight. No matter how much I've proven my point, it doesn't, like, it is so not healthy for the kids that I can't even express the fact that, look, I don't even publish 90% of the content that I film anymore based on the fact that I just want my kids to have a much healthier upbringing. I was extremely okay with videos that were removed by me, and it is my choice not to publish or repost certain content just to get through the anguish of being separated from my children, all because I finally stood up to my bully. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, what I did is far more difficult than you think, and I'm sure that you want to laugh at me. But boys, please understand that I have to take responsibility for what I did. What I did is I publicly disclosed our life in certain parts to show that we live in a digital world. It wasn't done out of spite. It wasn't done out of malice. It wasn't done in hatred. I had to release a very small part of our life, and I'm glad that I did, because it's the truth. And we don't live in a world where you can just get away with these dirty secrets anymore. And it's much healthier to either be out with the issues that you have or live a healthy, changed life. I personally, my only compulsions were a direct result of living or being in a really stressful dynamic. Boys, court officers, social workers, Mal, I don't care who's listening. Please, this video should be up by 12 o'clock. Let's get together via email or a call, and let's work out the dynamics, and let's get the boys on vacation at least from Wednesday to Sunday. There needs to be a way that we get past the fighting and think about the kids while they're young. They're not going to need us in a couple of years. So there's no reason to be fighting over something that won't exist. It's like the same reason as why in the long form, if anyone asked me why Mal and I disagreed so much, was because it wasn't until the last couple of days where I finally started thinking clearly that I realized that our biggest disagreement was that, you know, the old saying, don't sweat the small stuff. Well, that's literally what Mal did always, was sweat the small stuff, and the larger elements she didn't do, and she didn't care about it, and I couldn't understand it. And that's because she could not calculate, and that it's a big problem. She could not calculate how short life is to waste time on disagreements, minutia, fighting, or any of that stuff. And it is something that I very, very much disagreed with her on, because I kept trying to explain that we are both difficult human beings, but unlike her, I am willing to recognize that. I'm willing to work on it. I saw therapists, I still do. I believe in mental health. That's not a competition. It's just an objective view of the reality of what role we played in the dynamic. And the whole point of why this legal tainment is so interesting to you is because you do not understand that the shattering of the cross of the dynamic is what is so fascinating. In the public eye, Mallory was the one that, you know, was the proponent of kindness and love and things like that. But in reality, most of my love, I believe my wife learned from me. She comes from a very, very mean, cold place emotionally. And what's really, really sad about it is that's not who I met. It is something that's spiraled into, and one of the biggest issues that honestly I can't even fathom is the overuse of personal electronic devices to replace human beings that are there in place. So that being said, it's 11:34. I am pleading just for communication so that the time for the vacation doesn't pass without the boys being able to hit the sand. I understand that my needs are put to the side, but there has to be a way that we at least try to communicate. If we fail at communicating, that's a different story. But to fail at trying to communicate, that's just pathetic.